saying like more often we have to think about, the force of samsara. Samsara is full of suffering. Appearance, is kind of very attractive, very pleasurable, but then deep down there's no pleasure, there's no attractive. So we only see the superficial, but we don't see the deep. It's the nature of the suffering. So in this way, we need to know the force of samsara. The moment you see the force of samsara, then you less attached to these things. So this is the method we need to know the force of samsara. So in order to discover the force of samsara, then we talk about two things. First, we talk about suffering, and then second, we talk about cause of suffering. Two parts. So first, the suffering. In the sutra stated, when we talk about samsara, there's in the three stages: desire realm, form realm, and formless realms. So these three contains all the samsara. So in the desire, so basically, entire desire realm is the suffering. There's nothing lasting pleasure in the desire realm. So we're going to discover later on. That's the suffering of the desire realms. And then form realm. Also, you may have such a pleasant state of the mind, but it's not free from the trouble, because you only temporarily inactive your thought. You have this peaceful state of mind, but uproot these thoughts. The moment you condition arise, this thought rise back to the problems. So it's not perfect. That's the form realms. And the formless is exactly the same thing. You may not have attachment to gross things, but you have a subtle attachment, this pleasure kind of feeling, pleasant feeling. So this very attachment, you stay caught in samsara. One day this condition arises, thought returns, and back to the same suffering. Nothing good. Top of that, they're saying if you're in the formless realms, very hard to gain enlightenment, because the Buddha never manifests in that realm to teach Dharma. Because the Buddha's man helping others is the teaching. Through the teaching helping others, and formless realm there's no ear to hear. Then even Buddha can't help in that state. So in that sense, sometimes the formless is actually more danger than hell realms. In hell realms, even though there's tremendous suffering, still Buddha manifests and give teaching there. But in formless, there's no opportunity. So it's a loss of a disadvantage for point of view of the attendant self-liberation of full enlightenment. So in this way, they're also not perfect place. So in this way, one need to know everything that we're wishing for, none of them is the perfect. So these are really important. Then it changes your mind. We should not put all this effort to get this one. Rather, we should effort to get the other things. Because if no one explains these things, we as I'm always a spiritually child, we don't have any idea what we're doing the wrong things. So that's why we need someone to guide us. So no one guide us like you and me. So that's the reason we having this teaching of the Buddha is the super guide. So this just brief about talk about this three realm. No matter wherever you take rebirth, there's some type of suffering. So only free from suffering is a nirvana. So in this way, we should put all the effort to attain the nirvana, not the samsara. So that's the brief one. Now we talk a bit more detail. Again, we say no matter wherever you take rebirth in these three realms, always suffering. In the desire realm, we have all three suffering of suffering, change, and pervasive. And in the formless realm, there's no visible suffering, change, but they have a several conditions. but they have the seed of suffering will kind of change. Seed there, they may continue because not uprooted. Because the condition of there, then they not develop the suffering yet. But the condition seed there. So now, in another like a mindfulness sutra stated, in hell being, the prime suffering is the hot hell realms. And then the hungry ghost, the prime suffering is like a hunger and thirst. And then prime suffering in animal is like a eating one to another in animal realms. And then prime suffering in the human realm is like a short in life, indefinite life. One must know how long we're going to live. We always have a fear. That's the reason how often we're careful what we eat, exercise, everything we have a fear of. I'm going to see, I'm going to die. So we always just try to prolong that kind of suffering, in general. And then God realm is life is kind of short term. It's a perfect. Everything comes whatever you want. That's nothing effort. Because the karmically is such a powerful mind, so instantly comes everything you want. So almost like a billionaire, If you're a billionaire, everything you want, it will come to you. But that's not going to last, Sometimes you lose before you die. Sometimes you have this whole your life, but the moment you die, you not have that one. Just I'm making a joke, people who build this billions of dollars of high-rise building, you have this, you own of that. But the moment you're dead, you may be born as insects. The moment you born insects, you lost this $1 billion worth of property. So it's only temporary. It's nothing to last. So in this way, God realm is like you have a wonderful life, but it's not going to forever. That's a suffering. And then demigod is obviously jealous. Even though they have such a great life, but the jealous never allows to happy them. Again, our own life, some of us, we have a comfortable life, wonderful life, but we're not grateful. We always compare to someone else. You have this one, I don't have that. Then we get jealous. So the moment you're jealous, everything that I have means nothing. So that kind of a suffering of a demigod. So in this way, if you look around, entire kind of a samsari beings or six realms beings, there's no such a pleasurable, there's no such a pleasurable. It's kind of a there's a samsara is like almost like a tip of the needle. So wherever needle touches, it's painful. Samsara, wherever it touches, it's so painful. Nothing is a pleasure. So this is the nature of the samsara. So this is a brief that described in the sutra. So now these are very important, we're saying like if you want to be healthy, because of what we're saying like it's very important, we as sentient beings, we are very addicted with our anger mind, greedy mind, ignorance mind, desire mind, jealous mind, and arrogant mind. We are very addicted to this one because we think these are so important in our life to keep us secure, protect, guide us. But the reality, these six are the creator of all the suffering we're going to talk about, six realms. Besides these six, there's no creator of suffering. So if you don't understand, we're never going to recognize these things, the danger. Secondly, we're not going to have this motivation to let go of these things. We're going to keep these things. So just think about our addiction point of view. Every day that we go out there, what we do actually, we're keeping them as so alive and so healthy. We don't do anything to get rid of these 6 emotions. But we don't realize the risk of this. So in this way, we're not kind of creating kind of a fear, in order to bring our mind to the Dharma or to practice. I'm always saying that fear is not the method to bring good Dharma practitioners. Rather, one recognize the danger and then think about how fortunate I realized this one. Now I have opportunity to not to go closer. Even I have an opportunity to get rid of these things. Rather look more optimistic point of view rather than fear. This is really important. So in this way, then we talk about more kind of suffering, for instance. Just think about in hell realms. The hell realm is you and I cannot see it. So these things actually stated by the Buddha in Sutra. So I'm saying Buddha is not kind of going to, not kind of some crazy human master who lying, things haven't seen, unseen these things to tell the disciple to impress. Buddha is not kind of a crazy master. And then lots of it exists in some in Tibet, some in a kind of Chinese community, some master in order to attract the student, something they haven't seen, that says, I've seen it. Then some foolish people are attractive. So Buddha is not kind of that to people stop creating. They're really a scientific mind, see it. Because he's been in that state for many times. So in this way, they talk about the mental kind of state of the suffering is so intensive when you're in that state. So this way, so detailed explanation in the triple vision, for instance. I'm not going to go all the detail, normally we talk about there's 2 major suffering in hell realms and the 2 minor suffering in hell realms. 2 major one is like 8 stages of hot hell realms, 8 stages of cold hell realms. So all these different stages is measured by how intensive we create this anger mind. Nothing else. It's not somebody created. All state of our degree of our negative state of mind. So that's what kind of suffering exists. So this suffering is not talking about just 1 day or month. It's almost like 1,000 human lifetimes you have to spend in that state. And then when you finish this kind of man, kind of hot and cold, still not finished, you have to go through this minor kind of 4 neighboring hell realms. You have to go through all these things. So even you finish that one, still you have to have some other kind of results similar to the experience, so on and so forth. So in this way, just think about, in order to not to reborn, not to end up in that state, I must practice Dharma. So that's the reason we need to Dharma practice. Dharma is the wisdom. Wisdom realizes the danger of the anger. We should not let anger. To free every anger of one's mind is, if you practice Dharma, the hell is not exist. So in this way, the kind of rehabilitation, Dharma is a rehabilitation, You, in a state of addiction, you're in sore trouble. One day you realize this is trouble, then you want to get out of it, then due to that, then someone put you in the rehabilitation part. So when you're in the rehabilitation part, you need lots of cleansing, that addictions. So this cleansing is the Dharma practice. So that's the reason one need to realize why we need to practice Dharma. First one. And then second one, because these are not just kind of making us frightened. It's really, many teachings say like even 1 hour, how much thought that arises in our mind. Among them, how many there's negative and positive. Most of them is a negative mind. So this negative mind, right now we plant a seed. When the condition comes, they manifest. So in this way, there are no, we talk about one bad news is when you commit these negative things, when the condition comes, it manifests as suffering to you. But the good news is you can develop the obstacle not to rise this one. So obstacle for negative mind is the Dharma practice. So constantly we need to create this obstacle for the negative mind. So that's the reason. If you create this obstacle, then this negative not going to be the strength to bring any result. Right now we have a lot of obstacle for the Dharma. We don't have much obstacle for the negative karma. So this we need to change that one. So ignorance is the obstacle for the Dharma. Wisdom is the obstacle for the ignorance mind. So both is ignorance, each obstacle each other. So in this way, we should not fall into the ignorance obstacle, rather we fall into the wisdom obstacle. So important. That's the first one. So that's the first, the suffering of hell beings. Just brief explanation. There's so much detailed explanation about that. Then second one, we talk about hungry ghost suffering. So hungry ghosts generally talk about there's 36 different types of hungry ghosts, but we sum up 3 hungry ghosts. So these 3 hungry ghosts, the first one we call the outer obscuration hungry ghost. Second we call the inner obscuration hungry ghost. Third one we call the food obscuration hungry ghost. There's 3 types of things. First, outer obscuration means like due to your karma, you extremely hunger, extremely thirsty. So this reason we Buddhists talk about everything is a mind. The reason why we call everything mind means like you and me have a karma to get food, to find the drinks. So whenever the food, we can see the food, we can see the drinks. But when you're in hell, due to the karma, even food right in front of them, they're not going to see the food. Even the water right in front of them, they're not going to see it. Because for them, not exist a mind to see the food, the drink. Even though so hungry and thirsty. So this reason, so powerful kind of Buddhist talk about everything is mind. So in this way, the first obscuration of physical obscuration means like due to this very hunger and thirsty, so dreaming up of food and drinks all the time. I'm not sure how many of you so much suffering of the what called the hydration. Yes. Hydration. I'm not sure how much you got. We got sometimes. I got some when we are traveling in India by train. When we are young, poor, we don't have the money to buy good. We have to kind of cheap economic train. So crowded, There's no way you can get out. But some are so thirsty, So physical, we're dreaming, seeing the water, river, all these things. But there's no way we can get out and get water. So this hell being just not just talking one day, we just few hours. But these guys, not for hundreds of years, thousands of years, in that state of mind. So in this way, so desperate, looking for, finding for food and drink. So in distance, they see like a food of mountain and the lack of water they see in that way. So physically, they're so weak to get their destination, but there's no choice. They have to walk. They're saying like the body is like a old Indian bed. Like so creaky noise. So when they walk, there's so much noise, but you have to get there to get these things. The moment they get there, the water becomes like a mirage, disappears. The food they saw is like just sand hill. So they can again they have to suffering. They're disappointed. They thought, oh, there's water and food. They're so excited to get there. The moment they go there, that's just tongue, and then they have to look at that. So in this way, never find. That's what we call the physical obscurations. Then second, we call the internal obscuration is like even you find some tiny food, Your mouth is so tiny, this is like needle's eye. So when you're hungry, you just push and then crush your mouth. Even not good enough, you get mouth, and then your throat so thin, it's like a single horse tail here, hard to get. So that's what we call the inner obscurations. Then food obscuration means like again, calmly you have to look for food, and then almost like you're in a notorious prison, all this prison guard chasing you, not like relax you. So hungry ghost, guard like keep chasing you, look for the food. Then even if you find some food, then some stronger than you is taken away from you. Almost like we go in the beach having fishing chip with the front of seagulls. The one chasing the another one. So almost worse than that, that kind of suffering. Then calmingly they say, even if you eventually you got little food go into your stomach, they become like a fire, burn entire body. That kind of suffering. So this suffering created by the stinginess and greedy mind. So in order to free this greedy mind, one need to practice Dharma. Right now we think the greedy is a good to kind of what do we call make more wealth. We think the greedy is a good, secure my wealth. But really the very mental attitude causes hungry ghost realms. So in this way, the wisdom is to free that greedy mind. That's the second. And then third, animal. So these two is like we only believe what the sutra because our eye cannot see. We only can see very close, kind of these beings, And they say if your hungry ghost very close to us is like some kind of some part of the South Africa, people who are dying without food and drinks. The closest we can see, but they are far worse than hungry ghosts, far worse than that human hungry beings. And then hot and cold being is like people who live extreme hot weather, but they don't have any air condition. Just think about some people in Delhi, sometimes reach close to 50, but they still, due to their poverty, they have to do rickshaw, carry that. We can't cope here when we reach close to 40, even we put air conditioner complaining. People up there, because they have to feed family, they can't just sit and go to the shed. They have to do rickshaw, taking passenger behind you when they're almost 50. So this is a close kind of hot hell realms. Burning yourself, but there's no choice, you have to work hard. And then the cold hell realm is like some human, there's nothing to keep you warm. There's no heater. You're so shivering, but you have to go. Same like back again, some part of India, so winter time, if you see the rickshaw people, they have a very thin cloth. Even they don't have a warm jumper. So early in the morning they have to do rickshaw, almost at 1 degree. How much wind. So this only we can see the cross of hot and cold hell realms. That kind of suffering really exists. And then animal we talk about. Animal we can see ourselves. Just think in the ocean. We always say, whales, dolphin. All we say is beautiful things, but the reality, what kind of lifestyle these beings, they're killing each other. If you really think, just dolphin is a beautiful animals, but just think of every day how much the dolphin kill the fish. That's a life. I'm not complaining. That's a reality. Then we look at the coral, kind of beautiful kind of fish. But then how much they have a fear, uncertainty, eating each other, one to another. Then this wave comes that takes you to a totally different destination. So animal is like, I sometimes say, be like a taxi driver. You don't have any idea where you're going to end up. Depends on the passenger who you get. So this animal, they don't have any, where you're going to make your friend, you're going to meet enemy. This wave takes you everywhere. That kind of suffering in the ocean. That's the reality. If you look in the ocean, there's no number we can say. Each minute, each second, how many kill each other. You know? Each second, how many dying right now? That's a suffering. And then you talk about the earth. How many, if you look at the nest, bee or ants, just pressing one top another. There's no room. But we have a 3-bedroom, 2-person living set, still we don't have space. We're fighting for it. This guy is like one top another, but still there's nothing to complain. You know? So there's no room to move around, even the hungry to find. Even the food exists out there, but there's no room to move to get there. That kind of congestion in animal realms. Then you think about domesticated animal. They're much better than others, yet they are prisoner. You know? Life sentence. They put a big fence, you know, they cannot go beyond that. And then many of them, it's like a life sentence. Or what we call the capital punishment, you know. So humans so cruel, you know. We get milk from cow. The moment the cow stops milking, go to the butcher. Like a chicken same. As long as they get lay the egg, we keep it. The moment they stop laying egg, that go to the butcher. You know. And then other animals, just think about tiger for the skin, elephant for the bones, crocodile for meat and skin. Just think about how many suffering in the human realm animals. And then the most the good life animal is our pet. No matter how they're good, but they're still under our controls. No? They don't have free. If they go where you don't want to go, they get trouble. No? So in this way, so much I usually call, you may remember previously I mentioned, if somebody give you everything, food and place, but they restrict you, you're not going to be happy. So they're pretty much house arrested. They provide everything, but they have a limited to go. So that's where it's how much they have a freedom. This is suffering by animal realms. So this suffering comes from ignorance mind, not knowing what to adopt, what to abandon. So this reason, we human right now, we're creating this seed. How often we have ignorance mind, how much we're greedy. So this Dharma means recognize the risk of what we're creating. If you don't see that, we're creating this unknowingly to be in that state of life. So only that protect you, not the Buddha, not the God, not someone else, only your wisdom mind. So only the Savior is the wisdom mind. So this wisdom is no other than Dharma. So therefore we should practice Dharma to not reborn in the animal realms. Means if you free ignorance mind, then animals do not exist. That's the third one.